Hashtag AI Tech News, June 26, 2026. Breaking, the White House pumps the brakes on OpenAI, Apple's pricing shock hits Macs and iPads, Adobe's major acquisition, Amazon's $13 billion India power move, and GPT 5.6 gets delayed. 5 stories reshaping tech right now, let's go. The White House is asking OpenAI to slow roll the release of its new model over safety concerns. The White House just put the brakes on one of the biggest AI releases we've seen in years, and this move tells us something crucial about where power over artificial intelligence is shifting. OpenAI was planning to roll out GPT 5.6 to the world, but the Trump administration stepped in and asked them to pump the brakes, releasing it only to select partners instead. This isn't just corporate politics, it's a watershed moment showing that governments are now actively steering the direction of AI development in real time. Here's the context that makes this significant. We're talking about a model that represents years of research and billions in investment, and instead of the typical Big Bang release we've come to expect from OpenAI, we're getting a controlled, gradual rollout. The stated reason is safety concerns, which on the surface sounds reasonable. These models are incredibly powerful and do need scrutiny. But the real story is that a presidential administration felt confident enough to directly intervene in a private company's product launch strategy. That's a level of regulatory confidence we haven't really seen before in the AI space. The broader implications are genuinely complex. On one hand, having some guardrails and oversight could prevent genuine harms from advanced AI systems reaching bad actors. On the other hand, this kind of government control over technology releases sets a precedent that could stifle innovation or become a tool for political leverage. We're essentially watching the AI industry transition from the move fast and break things era into something that looks more like how we regulate pharmaceuticals or nuclear technology. Whether that's good or bad probably depends on who's doing the regulating and what their actual priorities are. Either way, the days of AI companies operating in a regulatory vacuum are officially over. Apple raises Mac and iPad prices, spares iPhone for now. Apple just made a calculated move that tells us everything about where the tech industry is heading right now. The company has quietly raised prices on MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, iPad Air, and iPad Pro, but notably left iPhones untouched. On the surface, this looks like a simple cash grab, but there's actually a lot more strategy happening beneath the surface. Here's the thing, Apple's premium computing devices are where the real AI action is happening. These machines are getting more powerful processors, better neural engines, and increasingly sophisticated on-device AI capabilities that demand higher manufacturing costs. The iPad Pro and MacBook Pro are becoming legitimate workstations for creative professionals and developers who need serious computational power. By raising prices on these products, Apple is essentially signaling that they're positioning these devices as premium AI-capable tools, not just incremental upgrades to last year's models. The decision to spare the iPhone is equally revealing. The smartphone market is brutally competitive, and Apple knows that price sensitivity matters enormously at that price point. Keeping iPhone pricing stable protects their market share while the company experiments with AI features that consumers are still figuring out how to value. It's a smart bifurcation strategy: extract more value from professionals and power users who absolutely need cutting-edge computing, while maintaining accessibility for the broader consumer base. What this really signals is that we're entering an era where AI capabilities are becoming a genuine differentiator in hardware pricing. The companies that can deliver meaningful, practical AI features will command premium prices. Apple's betting that professionals will pay more for machines that can actually do intelligent work, and they're probably right. Adobe acquires image and video enhancement toolmaker Topaz Labs. Adobe just made a massive power move that could reshape how creators edit photos and videos. The company acquired Topaz Labs, a startup known for AI-powered enhancement tools that basically do the heavy lifting for you, upscaling images, removing noise, and sharpening video with minimal effort. This isn't just another acquisition, it's Adobe betting big that AI-assisted editing is the future, and they're not willing to let competitors own that space. Here's why this matters: Topaz Labs built tools that do things Adobe's traditional software struggles with. Their upscaling technology uses machine learning to enlarge images without making them look like pixelated messes, and their video enhancement can clean up footage that would normally require hours of manual work. By integrating these capabilities directly into Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and other Adobe apps, the company is essentially saying we're embedding AI superpowers into the creative suite you already use. That's a game changer for professionals who've been juggling multiple programs. The broader story here is about consolidation in the AI space. We're seeing big tech companies absorb specialized AI startups at an accelerating pace because building these algorithms from scratch takes years and billions in R&D. Adobe gets instant credibility in AI-assisted editing, while Topaz Labs gets the distribution muscle of a creative software giant. For creators, this could mean faster workflows and smarter tools, but it also means fewer independent players in the market. The question isn't whether AI editing becomes standard, it's whether Adobe's dominance will leave room for innovation from smaller competitors. Amazon UPS India bet with fresh $13 billion AI infrastructure investment. Amazon just dropped a $13 billion bomb on India's AI infrastructure, and this move tells us everything about where the real AI battle is being fought right now. While everyone's focused on ChatGPT versus Claude in the Western markets, the trillion-dollar opportunity is actually happening in countries with massive populations and growing digital economies. Amazon's bet signals that India isn't just a market to sell AI services to, it's becoming a critical hub for building the infrastructure that powers AI itself. Here's what makes this significant: India has over 1 billion internet users, a thriving tech talent pool, and crucially, lower operational costs than building data centers in the US or Europe. Amazon's investment will fund data centers, computing power, and AI training infrastructure that'll support everything from cloud services to generative AI applications. But Amazon isn't alone in this race. Google, Microsoft, and other tech giants are simultaneously pouring billions into similar infrastructure across Asia. This isn't charity or market expansion, it's a strategic chess move to control the hardware and compute resources that'll define the next decade of AI development. The broader implication here is that AI dominance isn't just about who builds the best algorithms anymore. It's about who controls the physical infrastructure, the data centers, and the computational power at scale. By investing heavily in India now, Amazon is positioning itself to serve both the Indian market and use those facilities as a backbone for global AI operations. For consumers and businesses watching this unfold, it means faster AI services, more localized AI applications, and potentially a shift in how AI development gets distributed globally. The future of artificial intelligence isn't being built in one country, it's being built wherever the infrastructure investments are happening. OpenAI will delay GPT 5.6 after Trump administration request. The Trump administration just pumped the brakes on OpenAI's next major AI model, and this move signals something we haven't seen before: direct government intervention in how fast private companies can release cutting-edge AI. Sam Altman announced Wednesday that GPT 5.6 won't launch as planned. Instead, it's getting a staggered rollout starting with limited preview access to a small group of users. The stated reason? National security concerns. Whether you think that's justified or overblown, this is a watershed moment that shows how seriously Washington is taking AI development now. Here's the context you need to understand why this matters. We're in 2026, and AI capabilities have reached a point where governments worldwide are genuinely worried about dual-use risks and potential security vulnerabilities. OpenAI has been on an aggressive release schedule for years, pushing new models out rapidly to maintain competitive advantage. But the calculus has shifted. When your AI company is operating at the intersection of national security, economic dominance, and technological power, you're no longer just answering to investors and users, you're answering to policymakers who see AI as a strategic asset. What's really significant here is the precedent. If the Trump administration can request delays on GPT releases, what comes next? Will we see licensing requirements? Government review boards? This could reshape how the entire AI industry operates. Companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and others are now operating in a space where innovation speed has to be balanced against regulatory pressure. The days of move fast and break things are officially over in the AI world. We're entering an era where geopolitics and technology are inseparable, and that changes everything about how these companies plan their roadmaps. Thanks for staying updated with Neural Brief. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss tomorrow's biggest AI breakthroughs. See you tomorrow.